Francois NARS and his cosmetic line, which is obviously named after him, his last name, has come a long way. He had his first counter in 1995 at Barney's, New York. And within a few months, that counter and the cosmetic line itself became the #1 selling brand within the entire department store. Francois NARS started off with first lipsticks, making lipsticks, mixing them all together. He wanted to make shades that would be for the everyday consumer can come in and just purchase or pick up just that one lipstick. Usually we'll be behind the scenes at fashion shows and so forth, and we're mixing all these different colors, and he didn't want that for the average consumer. Models and shoots and so forth, that's a different story. So first lipsticks, and then when it went over to Barney's, of course, we have the entire line. And throughout the years, I have seen the products come and go. There's still a lot of staples I personally have in my collection. I currently still use to this day. Now, I am a part of NARS's Pro Artistry program, so I can get products at a pretty good substantial discount. With that in mind, before I go pick up that actual product, I will pick up a sample first at Sephora. I use Sephora as my sample taker, and that way if the foundation, if the product actually works for me, or I feel that I'm going to get use out of it, then I go and I order that item from the brand directly or go into the store. So that's what I did for NARS's new Longwear Radiant Foundation. I actually picked up 3 shades because I wanted to kind of give you some more information as far as their undertones and just overall swatches in the event it might be able to help you out. Now, when you think of the word radiant, I would say the next item that kind of may pop into our head would be the existing Radiant Creamy Concealer. Now, that concealer is, I would consider, a cult favorite, again, worldwide. Here we kind of have its, I would say, matching sister now. We have the foundation to kind of mimic and go along with the creamy concealer. The Radiant Longwear Foundation comes in 33 shades, so it's going to cover a lot of different undertones, a lot of different skin tones, very fair, pale skin, down to, of course, very deep. That is one great thing when you are looking at a makeup line that was founded and created by an actual professional makeup artist. We are used to working with various skin tones. We're used to working with various undertones. The thought process when it comes to creating a cosmetic line is definitely there. We're going to offer products that are going to hopefully cover a wide variety of the general population that, you know, would come up to purchase the products. So that is very good in that sense. The Radiant Longwear Foundation comes with a pump, so another great plus. We always want a pump to keep it sanitary, keep it easy to pump out and apply to our skin. It is 1.01 fluid ounces and it retails for $49, which will be United States dollar in currency. My shade within the Radiant Longwear Foundation is Macao, and again, that is part of the medium dark series. Also with NARS's products, he likes to name the products based on where he's been, where he travels, where he likes to vacation, his lovers, his friends, favorite movies. Again, I was matched up to Macao, which is a south region of China, and it's near Hong Kong. I chose to receive 2 other samples within that medium dark series, but they're, first off, they are 2 new shades and they have those point numbers, so like 3 point this, and I wanted to make sure to pick those up because I feel that those are really specific, so they may be kind of compiling some more information from whatever resource and trying to get the undertone and trying to get the skin tone right. Therefore, I did pick up Caracas, or the capital of Venezuela, and that is 3.3 shade. If you look on Sephora's website, Caracas is mentioned as a medium dark 3.3 shade, and it has red and golden undertones. Now you're probably thinking, what is that? I know, I was reading that myself and I was like, okay, this is Caracas right there. When I look at Caracas, I see more of a yellow tone to it, and that is just my own naked eye. I see yellow. But when I think about that, I think about the opposite though on the color wheel. So in that instances, I'm thinking that it's opposite on the color wheel from what I would consider a tone that is a little bit more neutral. So I just kind of want to throw that out there. If you do look at this shade, I see yellow, but I also see it pulling more towards neutral as well. And that is also important to think about, because when you think about warm and cool tones, it's not so cut and dry as this color is warm and this color is cool. Both ends of the spectrum can lean towards neutral, can lean towards the other way. So you can have a warm tone shade that can lean towards neutral, just like it can lean towards more of a stronger warm tone. So again, I just want you to keep that in mind. This shade did not match up to me. Not only is it light, it does offer a lot more yellow than I need for my skin tone. But if you do have that in your skin, and or you might lean more towards that neutral side, then Caracas might be a good fit for you. The second shade I picked up in the medium dark series is Belem, and that is number 3.6. I really do hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Belem is in Brazil, and apparently it is a city in Brazil, excuse me, that is going more into, like, you would go through the city as you're going into the Amazon. I would not be going through that city, because you say the Amazon to me and all I think is huge, ferocious bugs the size of a fire truck. Absolutely not. But I'm sure it's beautiful to look at on pictures. But that's what it's called. That's where it's from. And it's labeled as a shade that's going to have a red tone to it. And I would definitely state that it does have that. Belem is another shade that not only did not match me, it actually looks much darker on my skin. Meaning, actually, don't even go by the numbers like 3.6, 3.3. It just looked a lot darker on my skin tone, even though I actually am the shade below it when you're thinking of the actual number. I would recommend Belem, again, if you have not only a warm undertone, but you do pull more towards the red side, but not so much red where you would expect it probably to turn orange on your skin. It is a red warm base that is pretty, I would say, like an even mix. That's probably why on Sephora's site it states also with just that brown undertone to it. The claims for the foundation I feel are quite high. It's a 16-hour foundation, it's sweat, it's transfer resistant, it's going to be breathable, it's going to be lightweight. A lot of claims. It's oil-free, fabulous finish, and so forth. And the one area in which I can agree with the foundation is the fact that the finish is a natural finish. I do feel that it is natural. It wasn't necessarily what I would consider like a matte foundation, and it's going to look very matte, control shine. With the first initial application, again, first day, no primer, just to see how the actual formula is going to adjust to my skin. Is it going to change in color? Is it going to irritate my skin? That's why I don't apply a primer. I need to see how my own skin is going to accept it. It did accept the foundation. I didn't have any breakouts. It actually did not, I personally don't feel it changed in any way as far as a color on my skin from initial application throughout the rest of the day, as I'm going to show you. So that will occur differently with everybody based on the fact that we have different skin and we have different skin oils. So that will determine the overall outcome. Now, that was my experience for day one. So as I'm going into the next couple of days, I'm still keeping in mind what I experienced on the first day. I'm thinking about those as I am trying the foundation out the next couple of days. And this is where my notes come into play. So here is the footage that I want to show you. 8 o'clock, I'm applying it onto my skin. This time I am using my primer, and it could vary because I change a primer every single day. And let it dry, apply my loose powder. And this is still the overall experience that I am feeling. I feel that this foundation is just too drying for my skin. Now, I have normal skin. I don't have oily skin. I don't have very dry skin. If my skin is going to lean towards something, it's going to go normal to dry. So that was something that I first initially, right off the bat, noticed on day one, that this foundation's a little dry. And then the next couple of times, we're talking, when I pull out Belem Aqua Bomb, when you're too drying for Aqua Bomb, I think, okay, what's up in this formula? Because I can wear that Aqua Bomb with any foundation, and I mean, my skin is moist. I know some people don't like that word. It's moist, it's delicious. It's just, I love that cream, I love that lotion. So it was still dry with Aqua Bomb, so that was, I wasn't happy with that. My lunchtime check-in, this is even before it's even hitting lunch. I have written down that it is settling in my smile lines by 11:30/12 o'clock. Now, it is very rare for a foundation to really gather and settle in my smile lines. That is just how it just tends to be. So I'm thinking, oh, I don't like that. I'm also noticing that in this general region right here, it seems that the pores are open more. Just, you know your face, you know your skin, and you know when something looks a little bit off. And I'm thinking, it's giving me the same reaction from when I first started trying out Kat Von D's foundation. I mean, that foundation, it's like, I feel like my skin is like lifted and it's like moisture, moisture. Like my skin is not oily enough for that foundation. So it's kind of the same thought process in my head I'm feeling as I'm wearing the NARS one. It's like I can just see the pores kind of lifted, like give me moisture. This foundation is so dry. Again, it just feels like those pores are just like, I'm not going to blot, because I want to see how it looks. And I remember that this day that I'm kind of doing this footage is a little bit of a longer day for me as far as leaving my makeup on, because my son has guitar lessons. So it's well into the evening. So I thought, great, I can just go ahead and leave it on, and we'll see how it is by 7 o'clock at night. So here it is at good old 7 o'clock. And before then, way before then, I was just like, when am I gonna wash my face? I don't even want it on anymore. Like by then, I'm over it. This is how it looks even before it's blot. It is, again, it's gathering worse in the smile lines. It's extremely shiny. It's as if the skin is overcompensating for the fact is that my skin is hella dry and the formula is dry. If you look at the directions on the main website for NARS, it's talking about, again, using your fingers, and it's saying to do not apply too much of the product. Like too much of the foundation is going to gather where it shouldn't gather. It's going to accentuate. It's going to do this, that, and the other. Again, I know how to work with the foundations in the brand, so I'm not using as much as perhaps maybe somebody else. And I don't know if you've been a long time watcher of this channel, I also do not use a lot of foundation. Like I don't use half a bottle when I'm doing a review or when I do my makeup. To me, skin-like appearance is very important. So if I'm still putting on, let's say one light layer of foundation, and then I start to use my second layer as a method to build up as far as coverage in only those areas in which I feel I need it, if I'm still getting that end result. Now, I just wanted to mention that because I felt I did not overuse the foundation. Again, whether or not I'm using fingers or not, I don't think that should be the overall deciding factor on as far as the foundation working or not. It's the overall formula for this foundation. It is just too drying for my skin, and it's as if the skin is overcompensating for it by acting out in the way that I felt that it did. The last area I want to touch on with the foundation is the actual ingredients, and I'm going to be looking at my notes again. So by this point, when I'm like, I just want this off, I want this off my face and I'm not going to touch this again, then of course I'm looking at the ingredients because I'm just curious as to what is in this foundation that might be causing this. Again, I'm trying to just, do a little bit of research. Now, when I'm going, trying to find the ingredient list, this is what is funny. This is what I wrote down. The list is not the ingredient list. It's not shown on any major websites that I can see, such as Sephora, the NARS website. Why is it not on the brand's website? And Nourishing's. Now, it's mentioning in the description or the detail information as far as the fruit extract ingredients, which is supposed to be that radiant factor. So we have that in the title. This is supposed to kind of give you that overall dew effect. However, I do not care about that. Oh. When I write my notes down, I say it like it is. I want to see the list and I do not need to hunt for it. Cause DNA site or cause, is it cause DNA or cause da site? I have the list. So if this is accurate, the first ingredient will be the smoothing ingredients and helping the foundation glide on. But dimethicone is very drying. So really need to prep my skin if I'm normal and normal to dry. If I'm, this is a tip for you guys. If you are allergic to dimethicone, I suggest you do not use this product. So there you go. Those are my little notes right there. Now, I also made mention of this one ingredient that is the third ingredient in the list, and it is actually a derivative of silicone. So in a skincare product, when you're looking at it in a skincare actual liquid product, it actually stops the liquid from foaming up. So it will stop and break that. That actual ingredient is drying. And it's pronounced, well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. I'll make sure it's written down on the screen. That can be a factor. It could be a factor as far as why my skin the formula is so dry. And it is so high in those silicone ingredients. I do have other foundations that have silicone up there in the list. But you know what? I know exactly what primer to use with it. I know exactly how to prep my skin and they still work. So I'm kind of thinking about that when I'm looking at the NARS Longwear foundation. And for me, my overall experience is that it's just too dry of a formula for it to look the way I want it to look on my skin. And it's like my skin is overcompensating for that dryness, and it's just wigging out. Based on myself watching a lot of reviews, again, I feel people with oily skin seem to love it. It looks like it's probably helping controlling that oil for them. And for their skin types, it doesn't feel probably like it's drying on their skin. And if anything, oily skin people that are using this and reviewing it, it's as if they're seeing that radiance, but that radiance on their skin doesn't look greasy or dewy. So I personally feel it's a foundation that is geared more towards that skin type, oily. If you're combo, just depends on where you lean towards. But again, I would say oily and on all that end of the spectrum would probably benefit the most from this foundation. But again, I'm normal to dry. I sure as heck would not recommend it for anyone with dry skin. But with foundations, complexion products, it is a personal choice. So I would love to know if you have dry skin and this is a product, foundation that you're using and you've made it work for you. I would love to know, and maybe other viewers would like to know as well. And that is it. That is my review for NARS's new Radiant Longwear Foundation. And I do hope that the extra 2 samples, those color swatches, have been helpful for you in the event you needed some assistance to pick out a shade. If you do have additional questions, concerns, anything I might have left out, please leave them as questions down in the question box, in the comment box, and I will of course get back to you. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day or evening, wherever you happen to be around the world watching me. I do want to say a very special thank you to Canada and the United Kingdom. When I check my stats, you are the 2 biggest countries watching me besides the United States. And thank you. I feel honored. It always makes me smile a lot when I know that that's what's so great about YouTube, is that people from around the world can watch you. So Canada and UK, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Again, everyone, have a wonderful day or evening. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.